You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now, it's our turn.
And good evening, everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing awesome. I can only, create that, so that's good. You're all awesome. You know that. Welcome to Outside the Box Open Forum. Your host, Kate of Gaia. For those newly joining, chick with a deep voice. I'm transgendered. There you go. And a couple of quick little announcements. We won't be rolling into the overtime tonight because I'll probably have to shut down a few minutes early because I'm on with Johnny Guzman on QLP television tonight at 9 o'clock my time. So we're rolling straight through radio show and then right on to a video. So if people are up for it, you get a doubleheader of me tonight. Well, the second part, at least you get to see me yapping, but there you have it. Not that that's a big deal. It's all good. I do enjoy the interviews with Johnny. He's a great interviewer. And tonight's show, as fate would have it, it's just a coincidence that I was, heavily into King Arthur today and last night. And I didn't tell him anything. So tonight's show is called, with him, is called The Return of Merlin. Just a coincidence. Yeah. Okay. Well, I kind of know why. So it's neat when you start seeing things the way they're really getting laid out for you, in an allegorical sense. Everything makes sense, and I've had so many crazy awesome experiences in my life, but more so in the coincidental synchronicity aspect over the last few months, where it has been intensifying, and even more so over the last few days, and of course, or last few weeks, and of course, last few days. So quick shout outs here. Hey Otis, good to see you, my friend, and Susanna. I got your note. I was wanting to write something back to you. I saw myself sitting in that chair. I must have been off for a tinkle when you took the picture. But yes, thank you so much. And I actually prefer answering people in voice so that they get my intention behind it too. So, we'll have our coffee. You watch. I had a little chat there with Kevin just prior to the show. And just a shout out there. Hello, Kath. How are you? And John and Sean and of course Nav John. Nav John did threaten that he might actually jump in the call tonight, so that would be cool. Just let me know via Skype, my friend, and if you want in, just let me know, and we're good. And hello, Blu-ray. Double header, exactly. Excellent. Yes, that was my next. I just posted the link for you. Not like you're already listening to it, but I did post it to Tobias, and thank you very much for letting me know that he will make it. I didn't want to do it tonight on the off chance that we really get rolling, and I know with Tobias it's going to be a rock and roll show. I don't imagine there'll be a whole lot of call-in. It'll be an on-fire episode. I know this. And anyway, so I didn't want to, we get going, I didn't want to cut him short tonight as far as me going to do the QLP interview with Johnny as well. So I've got it lined up for tomorrow night. We have Tobias Lars, and so there you go. It'll still be listed as an open forum, but I've already got the shows booked, and for some reason you edit them and they say, well, screw that, it's still the same thing, so I don't bother anymore. So that's what's going on tomorrow night, and what are we going to get into tonight? Oh my. Let me see. I don't even know where. Yeah, I see that, Ninja, thank you. And wait a minute, just checking. Threaten? No. I'd love to hear about your wee adventure. And I got tagged by a couple of people today. Speaking of tags, yet again, people tagging me in fear porn stuff. I just removed the tag and move on from there. And Brian, yes, I had an opportunity to listen to what you did with Like an Angel. Very cool. I've got a slightly different drum pattern in mind, but we'll chat about that. But the keys and everything else. Oh, by the way, MEH. Anytime anyone sees me write that, it means meh. So it's where was I? Yes. So getting back to the tune. Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll have a little bit of fun with that. And gotta love this internet thing where you can post stuff and it goes around the world instantly. So where are we? Okay, I'm the first part of the show just to just to get my bearings here and see where everybody's at, try to figure out what direction we're going to go in. And of course, I had tons and tons of thoughts today of things that I wanted to discuss tonight. So I'm just going to wing it for now and see where it goes. I added a couple of people into the room. Obviously, the other thing is I never know who's contacting me and for what reason. So if they're, listening to the shows and whatnot, they know exactly who I am. And if they don't listen to the shows and they've got something else in mind, well, won't they be surprised in the Love and Stuff room? Yeah. So that's anyone that wants to Skype contact me. That's where I put them immediately, so that we're all together and I'm not going back and forth over 20 or 30 different people to write individual notes. That's kind of why I set the group up to begin with, so we can kind of all hang out there. Excuse me. So, where did I want to go? I'm waiting for a little download action here to see what was coming in. But for those that want to join in tonight, please, all you have to do is hit 1 on your keypad, and on Skype, open up your dial pad, hit the 1 there, and it will show that you want in the call. Or since if you're on my Skype contact list, just tag me 1-on-1 to let me know that you want to have your mic opened. Otherwise, there you go. And Andy, I sort of got the notion that you were maybe possibly going to call in. So just to let you know, I did catch some of it. This room has been going nuts, by the way, guys. It's so hard to keep up with you guys, which is really good. It's on fire, and that's an awesome thing. Alrighty, let me go to Fascist Book. That was the other thing I wanted to cover. I have been spending the last couple of days or so sending out summons of the dead around the world. I don't care who gets it. I don't care if the email bounces. It's my intent that's going out there. That's it. And here's your 2 choices. I've said this many times. You have a choice to be willfully knowledgeable or willfully ignorant. Now here's I knew it would come back. Now there's a little word that we use fairly regular in our vocab, and that word is ignore. Right? A problem comes up and then people tell you what? Oh, just ignore it. Okay, well, let's have a look at ignore and ignorance. They're both the same thing. So when somebody decides to ignore something, what they're willfully choosing is ignorance in the matter. And just trying to connect a few little dots of our common speak that need to be rectified in order to, start changing our perspective. A lot of great posts in Facebook today, and of course there was a couple that I'm not particularly interested in fear porn, so screw that. So, and hey, Bindi, how are you? Just saw you there, and Bruce. Glad to see everybody, and keep going down the list here. And where are we? Yep, lots of new people every day showing up on Facebook here, so it's pretty awesome actually. Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm just going down. There's a couple of things that I wanted to mention here that have been posted. I thought were great posts. Makes for great conversation to get things rolling too. If my Facebook would decide to, stop acting up. Been getting a lot of that lately. Skype issues and stop script. Yes, Facebook, email. Everything is incredibly slow. So I'm not necessarily blaming my crazy computer or me. It's one of the things that I have been feeling lately is that we are actually moving a whole lot faster in our vibration. So there you go. Hey, hello, Pat. Keep going here. Yeah, this is The Return of Merlin. That's from 9 o'clock Eastern Standard in the U.S. and Canada. Okay, let me see. Come on. Some great photographs, you guys. This is a great one. I love this. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I can feel a song in there. So there you go. Heads up on that one. Beautiful quote from George Carlin. Words of wisdom that we can all live by. And for those that are still stuck in the religiocosis, chosenitis mentality, this one's for you. Tell people that there's an invisible man in the sky who created the universe, and the vast majority will believe you. And tell them the paint is wet, and they have to touch it to be sure. George Carlin. There's that whole self-doubting thing, right? We can believe in the things that others have rammed down our throats, and in doing so, we have negated our own incredible beingness, our own creative. We are co-creators here, and I've heard that so many times, especially with the New Age concepts of, we're co-creators, and then they go off talking about fear porn. So I'm just going to ask them, hey, what is it you're co-creating there? You're reinforcing the idea of something nasty without giving solution. Well, there's lots of radio shows out there for you. Certainly not this one. But again, what are you creating? What is your intent? What are you looking at? You see, science has proven so many things. If you want, we got to deal in the physical and the spiritual here. It's about merging these two things together to see their mirrored opposites, and how the physical mimics the spirit. And when you look at an atom, it changes, right? Again, you're dealing with consciousness, and that which you're looking at around you is that which you are manifesting, that which you are creating. And if you walk around, I tell you, I don't even want to say it, because it's these are seeds. Thoughts are very dangerous seeds, because you can plant a thought in someone's mind that could actually destroy them. And in some cases, the intention may not be that. But we have to be very mindful of the other being, the other part of our consciousness. And the easiest way for me to get around that, to see it properly, is to put myself in that perspective's shoes, and have a look at it from their position. See, there's no judgment in that, because what you're getting there is the other side of, if you're having a conversation one-on-one with someone, you get the other side of it. And really, it's about adopting that perspective. And I've often said, for those that are married couples, or partnered up, or whatever the case may be, if you really want to experience something magical in terms of the relationship, if you're with the one kind of thing, then get your partner to be you, and you be your partner from their perspective. And watch what happens. It's magical. Yeah, it's not so self-serving anymore now, is it? So there you go. Just another little thing to ponder and think about. There was other posts here too, but I'd have to end up opening them up and turning my computer into a very sluggish little machine here. Okay, come on. I'm trying to get over to the board to see if anybody's there and wants to chime in. What I am going to do is open up Carol's line, because I haven't heard from Carol. She hasn't put her hand up in ages, so I'm just going to drag her in, kicking and screaming. Hey.
Hello, beautiful. How you doing, honey?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm starting to come out of a funk.
Oh, that's good.
It's been a deep, deep funk, let me tell you.
There's a lot of purging going on right now. And,
yes, there is. Affecting a lot of people.
Do not take anything personally. This is what I'm telling everyone. Do not take anything personally. We're dealing with a lot of beings, that are literally pulling back to themselves where they need to be, and removing distractions and what have you. Do not take it personal. This is wheat and chaff time, and those that are pulling back are taking a really serious look at themselves. And as you were saying there, yeah, I go through that quite a bit. Purging things, and sometimes you can do it in minutes, and sometimes it takes a few days. So welcome back, Carol.
Hey, thanks, sweetheart. I won't take up much time, but I have been wanting to do some artwork for, a long time. It was years ago. I bought some postcards that are, the heavy-duty rag content that you can do watercolors on and send them out and so forth. And I dug them out the other night, and I dug out a whole bunch of colored pencils that I had. And you remember when we were kids and we did that, those little drawings of spaghetti, an explosion in a spaghetti factory? Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
You just take a pen or a pencil and just take your page and just go all over squigglies and everything, and then you start coloring in the little squiggly spaces and so forth. And I've done 2 of them, and I had some photocopies made. I'll send a copy of each of them to you. They're my first attempt after my long creative winter.
Little hiatus.
Your music has inspired me, sweetheart. I love you so much.
Oh, no worries. Oh, thank you. Again, it's about the purpose, yeah. And when purpose gets aligned, it's a beautiful thing. Well,
I'll mute out now, sweetheart, and I know it'll be a good call. Love you, and thank you.
Love you too, kiddo. Thank you. A couple of things too. This is we talked a bit about this last night during the recording part of it, and Carol had just re-inspired the thought, and it's something that I want people to be very, very mindful of. And here's the thing: we collectively together can create our own inspiration, in as much as I get inspired by you guys and vice versa. It's a two-way communication here. And when people decide to do something, including myself, for any reason whatsoever in terms of being inspired, whatever the catalyst was. By the way, a catalyst is something that creates a reaction but remains unchanged in that process. That's what a catalyst is. And we are catalysts for each other, in that if we do something that inspires somebody else, we are unchanged in that. And now we become the neutral observers. And whatever is inspired from that individual for them to do, in the case of Carol, doing artwork or whatever, and this applies, any decisions or choices that you make that you feel are right within you, those are the ones that matter. Regardless of how it was inspired, whatever triggered it doesn't matter. We got to take the focus off the trigger and put it onto the cause that we're starting to take back over our own lives. And as I had mentioned last night, when someone decides to do something and say, well, I was inspired, Kate, or this is what listening to you, and this is what I decided to do. Well, that's great, but remember this: it's your victory. I remain unchanged in it, and in as much as I get inspired by you guys, you remain unchanged, and the synchronicities that have been happening, and I've been hearing from a lot of people with regards to synchronicities of late, particularly, of course, this is the shimmer and the veil coming down. When someone decides to do something, that's yours, and don't ever go outside of yourself. see what it was that triggered it or what inspired it. But the truth of the matter remains. The final choice is yours. There are no idols, there are no icons here. That choice that you made was yours. Whatever got you to make that choice is irrelevant, because the answer that you were looking for was always within you. And sometimes it takes something, and it could be something simple. It could be looking up in the sky and seeing a bird, and it triggers something with you, and you said, okay, well, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to change this direction. Doesn't matter what it is. So what I'm saying is, don't put the energy into the catalyst. The catalyst will remain unchanged. There's nothing you can do about that. Take the victory. Take the responsibility of the choice. It's yours. I used to talk many times about people. I'd hear from people in terms of the legal nonsense and whatever, and they said, well, I used so-and-so's process and it didn't work. And I said, no, you didn't. Well, what do you mean? I used this and that. And I said, well, no, you got information from that individual, but you didn't use their process because you haven't lived their experience. What you did was you used your interpretation of someone else's work and fucked it up. But now you're blaming someone outside of you for something that you chose to do. That's all part of the Savior program that I've been trying to dismantle for so long. And when we look outside of ourselves for answers, well, we're just doing exactly what the system has trained us to do. Go to the nanny state. Go to someone else with your bitching and complaining. Take it to the highest levels of government. Been there, done that. Gave back the t-shirt. It's a waste of time. The only thing that matters is your intent. And I mean that literally. Matter. This is your creation, your manifestation. People have asked me many times, well, did you get a response from that and that? And this is, whether I did or not is irrelevant. I don't need someone else to respond to what I'm saying. That's the re-life thing. I'm putting life out there. I don't need it respond. It's already living. My intent is a living force. Same rule I use every morning when I wake up and have to tinkle. I don't call anybody. I don't seek out permission for anything. I don't need a right to go to the bathroom or urine therapy, whatever the case is with whoever's listening. No, that's my choice. It's only my choice. I'm not going to look outside of myself for permission. That's what a child of a lesser God would do. No, I'm okay with being part of creation. That's okay. I really dig just that whole neutral level playing field thing. It's really neat. As a co-creator, not a co-slave or a co-master, simply a co-creator. And these are the realities I choose to be a part of. My realities. I know what my intent is. I don't wish anyone any harm at all. That's not my intent. There have been times in the past where, I want to beat the living shit out of somebody. Or scratch their eyes out, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. I grew up from there. I don't need to take on courts and wage war with that. That's just conflict. That's your flashing red and blue back and forth. Till you get them in balance, you'll never find your indigo. So, no, for me, it's a simple matter. I click my heels together 3 times. I say there's no place like home, and I send the emails out. And for someone that had asked me regarding the email addresses I was posting, these are the addresses that I've been sending to. And again, I don't care who gets it. I don't care if the email address works or not. It's got nothing to do with that. What it has got to do with is sending my intent out so that my ripples, my little butterfly or dragonfly wings, as I like to refer to it, are flapping, and they're creating tsunamis throughout the universe, shifting the entire fabric of time and space. I know that. And you're doing the same thing. That's why when 2 of us get together on the same concept, on the same resonance, and we get that beautiful feedback loop going on, that's universe changing. You can talk about the sun now setting further to the north, quite a bit further actually. We've got the magnetic. Now, again, I saw this really neat little video yesterday, I can't remember the guy's name, but the magnetic North Pole is effectively moving a mile a day right now. It's going up exponentially. Now, where people say, oh, that's the pole shift, the whole planet. No. Look at the allegory. What we're dealing with now is moving into neutral, right? There were some technical things that the guy had said regarding once it gets into the weak lines of the magnetic field, it's unknown territory. Well, yeah, we're all walking into unknown territory. The allegory that was brought up last night was Indiana Jones, the final movie, where he's standing, he has to go to get the Grail, the Holy Grail, and required a leap of faith, actually a step of faith. And he was standing at the edge of a chasm, and from where his perspective was, he was looking down, and it was all unseen. Here's the allegory. It was unseen. It would not come into view until you take that step. You have to take the step. This is not about safety nets. There are none. And those that seek safety nets will be ensnared in them. That's how it works. Tell me I'm wrong. I've been caught in so many in my life. It's not funny. So I know what they are. I don't have safety nets. I have fish nets, but that's an entirely different show. So anyway, keep it light. But what Indiana Jones did was he was standing at the edge of the chasm. This is the allegory of you and humanity, or the being. And he took a deep breath, and he put his foot out. And as soon as he took that step, the bridge came into view, where he could walk right across. But until you take that step, you won't see it. You'll never see it. You'll be spinning in the physical. You'll be, arguing this case and that, and somebody hurt you, and you're looking for vengeance, and all manner of kindergarten playground fight stuff. And until we step back from that and say to ourselves, I've had enough of that, because we know where that got us, and move on from there. But the leap of faith is that one thing that you have to do that you're not sure of. Make a choice. If it feels right, do it. That's what I do anyway. So follow your heart. Follow the yellow brick road. You'll find your Emerald City, and I've had enough conversations with people in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, they found their Emerald Cities. So I think we're onto something with what we're talking about during these episodes. And this is why I love the feedback that I get from you guys, because it shows me where I am, and it shows me where you are, and it shows me how we're all working together, how we're all interfacing, and sharing these collective ideas, collective thoughts, and seeing what resonates. Because as soon as we get something that resonates, and there's a lot of resonating going on these days. We talked about the feedback loop last night. And the longer that resonance stays in position, the louder the feedback loop becomes. The longer you hold a microphone in front of the speaker, and it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, every time that wave loops, it intensifies louder and louder and louder. And that's the dominant, guaranteed, that's the dominant frequency in the room. Because it's the one that's got everyone grabbing their ears and Kleenex for the blood coming out of them. Okay? That's an allegory. That is a physical representation of the spiritual resonance that we're all experiencing right now. And there's a lot of purging going on, a lot of purging within. A lot of people that I've talked to are finally letting go of a lot of things that they saw holding them. They're losing the hang-ups. They're losing the failed relationships. They're losing a lot of things. I mean, I look at my own life and the things that I had to go through in order to be, dispossessed of that which was possessing me. You put it in the mirror. I'm going to keep driving this point home until it sinks in. You got to look at both sides of it. You got to look at the good and the evil at the same time. because they are both equal and opposite. That's what a singularity is. It is all things and nothing at the same time. It's a rather difficult concept on a grandiose scale for most people to grasp, but we're getting there. I know that because I'm hearing from people that are going, oh my God, I get it. Yeah, isn't that cool? Because as soon as you get it, you can't turn away from it. Now, just to throw another allegory, of course, I had the trumpets going off again with the train. Of course, perfect opportunities, right in the middle of thoughts, and it's like, yeah, that's it. That's when the train yells. It's like, yes, go look at that. There's a movie. I've been trying to think of the name of it, and I was talking with Cindy earlier today, and we got talking about a couple of things with regards to movies and music and whatever. And she had said the word origato. I'll show you how this transpired. Thank you, origato. Grazie. And it was going through all these different ways of saying thank you, and instantaneously, my mind. Anytime I hear origato, I go immediately to Styx and the song Mr. Roboto. And for those listening, there is only one CD I have playing in my car when I listen to music, and it's the greatest hits from Styx. And I've always known there was something very drawing of this group of individuals and the message of what they were sharing. I've known that since the first album I got in 1978. It was Grand Illusion. And I loved that album. My favorite song on it was Castle Walls. I loved all the songs on it, but that one had a little something extra in it. But getting back to the origato, one of the lines is domo origato, which is much thanks, right? Much gratitude. And if you listen to the lyrics of that song, as I'd said to Cindy earlier, that song for me was a huge departure from what Styx normally did and performed. So it was a very standout song when it came out. And I remember when it did, it was like, that's kind of weird for Styx. Great tune, loved the song, but it wasn't really in their normal vein of songs, as it were. And if you listen through, it's a couple of lines: machines to save our lives, machines dehumanize. And when you see what is actually being said allegorically, it starts to make more sense. What's the one I was looking for here? It's still in the same song. Particular line. The whole song works that way, but my brain is IBM. And of course, you've heard me talk about the Straw Man and Wizard of Oz and whatnot. So what resonated with my brain is IBM? Well, IBM is International Business Machines. So for me, that's how I see humanity. Everyone is an international commerce drone. My brain is IBM, and that's the program. That's what has got everyone enslaved here in the commerce program internationally, right? Now, also talked about a movie I've referenced many times, but could I think of the name of it? Don't know what it was, but it was raining, and the movie The Adjustment Bureau came up. That's the one I've been talking about without being able to, bring that up, because I always get mixed. I want to say Inception, another great flick if you can see the layers of that in terms of time being slowed down and different perspectives, different layers of the same game. But getting back to The Adjustment Bureau, Matt Damon's character, of course, you had him and his soulmate were trying to be kept apart. That was the great plan, was to keep. Originally, the great plan had them coming together and sharing their lives, and then, of course, the game master said, "No, we gotta change that." So didn't matter. It did not matter because love will find a way, I promise. What got me about that movie, a lot of things did, but the overall story is about love will conquer all, and it can change the entire tapestry of creation itself. That, for me, was the allegorical message. There was a few more allegories in there. He was wearing, when he wanted to go through the door, any door, if he was wearing this hat, would lead him to another part of the city, so he could actually jump all over the city. And I haven't really pulled that one together, but there was one other thing that his watcher told him, that when you're outside, you can be seen, but as soon as it starts to rain, they can't see you anymore. You're hidden. So let's go to the allegory, shall we? What is water in the mystical sense? Well, water is truth. The waters of truth run deep, yeah? So, I mean, you can go through the Bible, any of these books or whatever, and when you see things like water being mentioned, it's speaking of truth. Inasmuch as the allegory of Moses, when he took his staff and struck the rock and water poured forth, that's the waters of truth. And the allegory there is, cracking the pineal gland open, and the waters of truth pour forth in the form of dimethyltryptamine. That's what it's in everything, and that's what we create. That's our spiritual hardwire, right? That'll get you home. But so here's the allegory: when you are bathed and soaked in truth, you become invisible. I'm a prime example of that. I, would hazard to say that I've been a rather major thorn in the system side for a few years now. I'm a shit disturber. I'm a noisemaker, as my lexicon says. I put it out there. I'm not out for vengeance here. I'm just, here's what happened, and here's what the universe already knows, and there's nothing you can say about it to claim otherwise. This is, if something was stolen, it was stolen. I'll give you an example for any of those alphabet sleepies that are dialed in. Sue had a beautiful Olympic class bike. We're talking, the $2-3 grand sort of bikes. Somebody helped themselves to that. It's in the shed, and I know that's one of the main reasons why she was pissed at me, because somebody else stole something of hers. So who knows who stole it? I mean, it's like when I went back to the house 2 weeks later, I found it kind of odd that all my scuba gear was still there, my top-end DeWalt chop saw was still there, a bunch of other things that were conveniently not packed, if you know what I'm saying. And, of course, none of those things came back to me. So I'm very happy that people took the time to, go through my house and all my stuff and shop for the things that you wanted to steal. And the fact that they're stolen cannot be changed. I don't have them. I did. There's nothing going to say otherwise. It is what it is. And I also mentioned in the Summons of the Dead, when Isaac and Red came, the two beings that came and stood with me, Isaac went actually and bought a brand new laptop, about $500 worth. It was, and he brought it to me so that I could hopefully hook up with the internet to get what was going on broadcast worldwide. As it turns out, we kind of ran out of time. It was already a setup. The guys already knew what was going on, because when Isaac was talking to Kevin Slickdick after the fact, they knew when we got there that night, the night before. And, of course, Kevin said to Isaac, why did you come back? Because Isaac left, go pick some stuff up, supplies and whatever, food and what have you, and came back. Unless you were watching the house 24/7, which I knew they were. I knew that. And I knew they were expecting me. Time jumpers kind of know that. As soon as I knew they did the time jump, I knew they had full they were keeping a real close eye on me, and they can't see me anymore, so that's good. But anyway, and I'm going to be a shit disturber for the rest of this existence until this game shifts. So in for the penny, in for the pound, baby, till the last breath. But that laptop was down in what was my office, and that never materialized again. So somebody, one of the cops helped themselves to a brand new laptop. And the fact that they're using it is proof enough for me. I'm not using it. It was a gorgeous laptop, I'll say that, So did it happen or didn't it? Well, there was 3 of us that knew it was there, and there was a receipt that said it was bought that day. Never rematerialized, never came back. So that's what happens when thieves show up. And that's the Guelph police for you. And I've heard too many stories from different people, cops going in and just emptying houses out of money and whatever else they can find. It's standard fare. I mean, there's no hiding it anymore. And this is why I do what I do, is to bring this bullshit out. I mean, they're just a bunch of kindergarten kids walking around doing everything that we were taught not to do, Everything you needed to learn, you learned in kindergarten, and then, some people's cases, they didn't. And only the corruptible can have positions of power. And that's why they're there, to see if they can stave off the corruptibility. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And what they're doing with all the, quote, fear porn, which I'm now calling cheer porn, because it's just telling me how scared they are, they're just showing how absolute in corruption they are. The only emotion I can even sort of bring to mind or heart is pity. But it is what it is, and is as it's supposed to be. And only love can change that game. That goes back to the Adjustment Bureau. After the 2 of them had raced, that's the divine feminine, divine masculine, in terms of trying to unite into neutral, unconditional love. When they finally got to the last place, they, at the top of this building, where I don't know what they call it, the boss or the supervisor or something, they had a different name for this creator aspect, our all-knowing self. And they just stood and looked at each other because they'd ran the full gauntlet and were finally cornered, and lo and behold, they thought they were both going to have their memories erased and would never see each other again. But they held on to each other, and the supervisor decided to rewrite the game. And that message, allegorically, is love will conquer all. It's pretty straightforward. So a couple of really good messages there. You have the rain, which is water, the truth, mystical truth, pouring down on you when you're soaked in truth, and when you stand soaked in truth, and you remain there without defying it or denying truth, you're an untouchable. That's the message. You cannot be seen or harmed. I don't travel a whole lot, but I travel enough, and I giggle quite constantly with a number of woof woofs that I drive past, and it's funny. And I mean, one, they're completely getting annihilated with what do they call that, tachyon? Anyway, it's not good energy that they're not aware of it, so it's cremating their DNA. Proven fact. Again, once you become aware of it, it no longer has any effect on you. Program your DNA. You can do that with your urine very, very easily, and that's what I do. So anything I need to change or look at, I just program it into the urine. And bottoms up, baby. See you on the clouds. So there you go. But yeah, a lot of valuable things once you start looking at it. And this is one of the main points. I'm going to keep driving it home until people go, "Oh, holy shit, I see it." And when you do, when you start looking at everything here as the allegory, I mean, hey, the Bible, the Quran, all these books were all allegories. So if this particular creation is based on the literal interpretation of the Bible, which it is, then what we need to do is stop looking at this world literally and start looking at it allegorically. What is the movie trying to show you? You know, what are the things that you need to see in yourself that are being reflected from others outside of you? Now, this is a very frustrating thing for me, and I know for a lot of you. When you see things that in other people that irritate, or you're dumbfounded, you don't know, why are they doing that? Why are they acting like that? And then, of course, I'm looking at it. It says, what is this in my mirror? What is it about me that I need to sort out? And some of these very, very difficult and deep things they're not easy to find. They're not as obvious as you think they might be. So it takes a bit of time. It takes a bit of introspection. It takes a bit of, it takes a lot of courage. And for me, this whole realm, this is the only dimension that I feel that we can experience anything like lack or loss and fear. And those are all illusions. In the grand scheme, in the grand illusion, we are co-creators, equal to all, because we are all. There's no room for anything like fear or the illusion of, and that's the whole thing. An infinite being cannot have fear, but they can certainly have the illusion of it. So let's put it into a finite meat stick temple universe thing that we can travel around in as individual sparks of the all universe. You are the fractal of the universe. And the thing about a fractal is if you change one part of that fractal, the whole fractal changes. As above, so below. You are that important. You are that one domino that doesn't matter where in the infinite row of dominoes you are. You decide to move, there's a lot of dominoes falling. And that's what we have to do. We have to decide to be that domino and be willing to go and push all the garbage aside. But seriously, think about it for a second. Take the time to feel this one out. This is where you start to understand how incredibly infinite you are. You are infinite creation. Always will be, always have been. There's no argument there. That's what consciousness is. It is. And you are conscious. So that makes you is. The only thing in this realm that I can see in the physical, or the phi-psi call, is the illusion of fear, the illusion of wealth, the illusion of destitution and loss and all the rest of it. It's only here we can experience that. In terms of being an infinite creator, in God mode all the time, and I go back to video games for this. You know, when you go through, for any gamers out there, I played games years ago, but one of the things I loved, when you get some cheat codes, right? What we're talking about with the allegories, these are the cheat codes, okay? Trying to get you back into God mode. You go through the game and, of course, take the challenge up, and, you know, the first levels seems difficult when you first get there, but, you know, by the time you're at the 8th or 9th level of this game, you look back at the first and go, that was easy. You know, because as we move up, the levels get progressively more challenging. Wouldn't be a game otherwise. Excuse me. So, in terms of, I forgot where I was going there with that the video game analogy. Oh, God mode. That's right. Thank you. Somebody just sent that. Thanks. I'm talking ethereally. It just hit. So when you're in, go through this game, you go level by level by level. Finally, you beat the last level. That was my thing. I would never use any cheat code playing a game until I beat it. And then I'd go back and I'd go looking for the cheat codes. And then I loved the God mode. Depending on what game you're playing, sometimes a character is completely indestructible. Nothing, it can get thrown at it, just goes through it, and can't harm the character at all. And they got the glowing white eyes and all the rest of it. That's generally how you knew you were in God mode. But you go through and where it used to be difficult with all these, be it monsters or characters, whatever the case may be of them coming after you, it's like you just walk right up to them and zip, and zap them out of the way, and they can't touch you. There's the Neo effect when he held his hand up to the bullets and the bullets stopped and dropped. That's God mode, right? The clues are all there. The allegories are all there. Can you see them? And but I'll tell you, after you go through all the levels, and you might do it once or twice, and it's a lot of fun just going out and you can't lose. You're in God mode, and your character is immortal. And you go through it once or twice, and it's a lot of fun, and you get other creative ways, and try different things, and see how you can alter the game to play games within the game. And that's where we're at. So, but it gets boring. It's fun for a couple of times through or whatever, and then I need to play something that's got a challenge now. And periodically you go back just to, I'm still in God mode, but you move into a different game. And that's effectively what every day is. It's a new game every day. What level of the game are you playing at? Some people are still in the very low levels of the game, fighting parking tickets, dealing in fear porn, hanging out at the, reporting on Bilderberg and thinking that what they have to do is important, and again, like the Alex Joneses of the world, looking at things like, I don't care. Think of anything humorously fear porn, and you'll understand what I'm saying. And that is effectively, for me, kindergarten level. You're still looking at the illusion and being an effect to it. You're not being cause over it. You're being a total effect to it. And you can apply that anywhere across the board. If you're looking at it and taking this game completely seriously, then you're still in the illusion. It still has you. That's the grand illusion. You're here for an experience. You're here to understand yourself. You're here to face the fears that are non-existent in our natural state. Because only when we create this stage, and this is what this universe is, this particular 3D dimension is just a game where we can experience mortality or the illusion of. Right? And of course, look at the churches. What do they sell? Well, if you don't, do this and that and the other, you're going to go to hell, right? And it's just retarded. It's just fucking retarded. They wear all sorts of funny looking clown suits to tell you that. But because it's all shiny and they got gold and life-size meat sticks on barbecue spit, gaping wounds and what have you, just to reinforce that fear, it's like, looking back, it's like, how did any of us buy any of that shit? Well, they did a good job selling it, right? They want to sell you on the fear to keep you in a very mortal sense. But keep this in mind. Is that good or evil? Or is it good and evil? If you want to experience fear as a divine, immortal essence, I'd say it's a bloody good thing, wouldn't it? You want to experience fear? You want to know what that feels like, that sensation? And because it's something it's not a natural state for us. I mean, that was effectively the first thing that was conquered in consciousness. Being alone in fear. Well, there's nothing to be afraid of because we're alone. Let's play a game. That was a cool feeling. But now I'm in God mode and I'm bored. Let's play a game. So, split in two, unknowing, knowing, knowing, no powerful, unknowing, all powerful, So both sides have God mode. Well, half of, right? That's the half truth. So for me, it only makes sense that when we overcome the fear, when we finally stop succumbing to the fear, and I'm speaking straight from the heart here, there are things about me, little old me. Here I am on the world stage, and I find it difficult just to take a walk to the store. So I get to live this. This is why it's so very real to me. And I laugh at myself constantly. I'm thinking, what are you worried about? You know? And that's my higher self going, just shut up and do it, will you? So, it's something very real to me. I've had a lifetime of living in that terror within, and then, of course, bringing it out. That's a whole new brand of terror. But it was done with baby steps and coming to terms with self. And finally getting to the point where there's nothing to be afraid of. And every day I take more and more baby steps towards that ideal. And I'm doing okay. So are you. So I've said it many times, lose the fear, get in gear. And that's all I've been doing. Yeah, I've been in first gear and second gear, not getting into that racing 12th or 15th gear yet. But for me, it's about taking things in stride, things that I can handle, things that I know I can confront. And I've confronted some pretty fucked up situations. It's the only way I can put it. You know? I mean, here we are. It's like I come at the system trying to help people, and you guys are asleep. Like, you shouldn't be paying mortgage. It's all fraud. This can all help you, but no, they're corrupted. They're the corruptibles. There's no fixing them. So I'm not even going to try. The only thing I do is put my intent out. I see it. That's all that matters to me. I'm going to be cause over it. I don't give a fuck what they say to me. One, I know they're thieves. I know they're liars. And that's part of the program. That's part of the video game. I get it. Do I want to play with them? No, not particularly. I'll mess with them, but that's just the nature of me. That's why I do the emails. It's about sending out the intent through the ether. Nothing more. Yet there are people out there who will send an email and they'll be, waiting, with bated breath. And I learned early on that these people just don't respond. I know I learned that with my ex's lawyer, Jimmy the Peach Pietrangelo. That fucker didn't like me too much, and that's okay. That's where I learned to use without prejudice to great effect. That was an early on part of the game, though. That was an early on part of the effect. And, I know he was at a point where he was frustrated. He wasn't going to get anywhere with me. I just run people in circles. You want to play with me? Okay, fine, here. There's your tail. Go chase it. And they do. And they're very easy to get doing that. This whole system chases its tail. There's the dragon eating its own tail. You want to play that? That's fine. I can help you. I can keep you spinning for hours, days, weeks, months, years, lifetimes. Because I know this now. I don't play that game. Homie, don't play that game anymore. So hopefully there's a couple of gems that I've been able to throw out there for you. And just from the perspective of today and allegories and looking at them and feeling them through. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to toss a tune on. Not sure what yet. Actually, I'm going to play, where was it? Why Daddy Cries. I'm going to show you the mirror here. All the things that needed to be said. You can talk about all the things that I went through to write this song that would be deemed not very good. But what a gift that came out of it. What a beautiful song. See the good? Transmute it. And that's all I've done my whole life in songwriting. Transmute what hurt into something beautiful. That's what we need to learn to do. And I don't care what way you do it. It just so happens that I use songs and I write that way. But again, there's the allegory. It's allegorical. It's all about transmutation, taking that which might have had a grip on us, putting it into the physical, i.e. write it down or paint it up. I don't care what people do. This is just my way of doing it. And then turning that garbage into something beautiful. Another saying, one man's garbage is another man's treasure. They're both the same. And it's been there allegorically all along. It's in all the metaphors. And one of the jokes about songwriters is, well, when you're writing a song, you should avoid using metaphors. That was part of the program training. Why is that? Because that's all I use are metaphors. And I think I write okay songs. I get the point across. I share the visuals metaphorically and allegorically. So why would the songwriting system people want you to steer away from metaphors? Because it's too big a clue. They don't want it given away too much, and here I am spilling the beans on it. But whatever. So this one's for you guys. Let me see and get this in the proper order. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now it's our turn.
And bring it up. Ready to go? Yeah, we're rolling. We're rolling. Why Daddy Cries. She pulls up in the driveway like she's done nothing wrong. It's Sunday night and the girls are packed again. It's one more week that he'll be missing, one more week he won't be kissing his angels as he tucks them into bed. She'll be talking more arrangements, just more words that he won't hear. All he's doing now is holding back the rain. It takes everything and then some to pay this weekly ransom that a cheating wife and best friend make him pay. He watches as they back up, then slowly disappear. Strains to see them one more time with blurry eyes. He makes his way back up the driveway, hoping no one sees the tears. And inside he hopes they know why Daddy cries. Why Daddy cries, he's lost a piece of heaven. Why Daddy cries, it's time he'll never see. Until he has them home again and safely in his arms, the only reason, that's why Daddy cries. Walks into the bedrooms and he feels the emptiness that was full of life, not 5 minutes gone. He listens for the echoes that only he can hear, doing time for someone else's selfish wrong. At night when he's not sleeping, he'll get up and walk the floors. Out of habit he will check in on the girls. It's when he sees the empty pillows, he becomes the weeping willow. In a forest lost, he's in another world. Then the questions follow that will ramble till the morn, and will haunt him every minute of the day. It's the days that he'll be counting one by one to give him peace, knowing soon his girls will be home with him again. Why Daddy cries, he's lost a piece of heaven. Why Daddy cries, it's time he'll never see.
until he has them home again and safely in his arms. The only reason, that's why Daddy cries. He'll be waiting in the kitchen, he'll be staring at the clock and wondering if she'll be late again. He'll be watching out the window till he sees them down the road. It's only then he'll cry a different kind of rain. My daddy cries, he's lost a piece of heaven. Why Daddy cries, it's time he'll never see, until he has them home again, safely in his arms. The only reason, that's why Daddy cries. Until he has them home again, safely in his arms. The only reason why Daddy cries.
You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now, it's our turn.
Oh, so there you go. See what I mean? Can you take your water and turn it into wine? Can you take your truth and stand in it? That's really the only lesson, as far as I'm concerned, that we need to have. We need to see. Can we look at everything that we're involved in our lives and see the allegories contained within it? You know, so here, one sec, just checking over on Skype here. Where we go? Yeah, the dancing pens indeed. Yeah. Let me see. Okay, yes, Kevin. Gonna pull you in. Be mindful. I'm gonna be shutting her down about 10 minutes early tonight from the normal run-on for the 3 hours, which is unusual, but I need a few minutes to get myself sorted for the show with Johnny. It's generally about an hour or so long, and guaranteed it's going to be fun because I haven't talked to Johnny in a while. So let me pull you in, Kevin. If you can mute out on your end until we get you sorted, that would be great. Just pulling you in now. And as I'm sure you're all aware, I don't I don't see much when I'm in a download mode because the eyes are closed and rolling. So, download mode. Oh, you're gonna have to mute out on your end, my friend, or turn the show off.
Is that?
You're in the Kevin. You're in the show. You have to turn your show off.
Okay, I'll do that now straight away. Give me 1 second.
Well, mute out, please.
Okay.
Well, mute out. There we go. Okay. And it looks like we have Mim in the call as well, so as soon as Kevin gets himself sorted out, we don't have the echo going on, you can jump in. Mim, how are you?
Oh, well, I am with you, my friend. I feel that you just grabbed the heart of most of America probably with that song, and whether male or female, I know that you relate to many people, and I could feel your heart and your dreams, and I just want you to know I'm standing with you, and I know you can, and the transmutation is real, the alchemy is real, and it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, we're turning lead into gold, baby.
I've had some alchemical type, situations myself, and I know that it's real. I know that it's true, and love wins.
Exactly.
And I just want to bless you, and you are helping so many people just by speaking from your heart and singing from your heart, and oh my gosh, that finger picking! It's awesome. I love it.
I learned to do that before I learned to strum. It was always more magical for me, and generally, if I'm sitting down with a guitar, the first thing you'll hear come out of me is I'll sit and pick away on the strings. You don't have to think. I just do that. But here's an interesting thing about alchemical. Well, I tell you a little bit more about the word chemical. There's a reason for it. It's all allegorical. Can you see it? So let's bust it apart and show you what it is. Did you know that chem is Egyptian for black? Ancient Egyptian? How about I call? How about the black I call? That's the creative void. So tell me the good and evil of chemicals again. See what I mean? Pretty cool, eh? It's a mirror. You still there, Mem? I can hear my hawk going off in the background. Did I get zapped? You guys hear me?
No, you didn't. No, I'm here, but I got distracted just for a moment. I had a text from my son at work, so I apologize.
No worries, love. No worries. Hey, all things for a reason. So you got a text from your son.
Yeah, I'm here to pick him up from work, and he said,
"Oh, I was
food."
I was referring to sun, S-U-N. Allegories.
Yep.
What's the real message?
That's right.
And that's what I'm trying to display.
Well, he said bring food, so, I think that the food just got brought to him in a very alchemical, transmutational, wonderful osmosis, symbiotic way. He got it.
There you go. And Mirror, Mirror came right back to you as well. So that's more food for thought, yeah? Pun intended.
Yep, yeah. I love it. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. For me, this as this veil just shreds itself every waking moment now, looking at things allegorically and looking for the reasons why they're there and what we're needing to see allegorically. Oh, I can tell you there's a tree right in front of me. What is that telling me? Right? So it's not as clear in the overall, but I tell you now, I've got the key, and I'm just turning it a bit further and further every day. So for me, the whole game here is the experience of fear, and can you finally come to terms with the fact that you are omnipotent, you're infinite, you're immortal, you're operating in God mode, and we're in the illusion in the physical realm to experience that which we cannot ever experience in the spiritual. That's what makes it kind of funny, actually. Sort of when you look around and then you start seeing all the people that are stuck in that mode and all the lower tones. Because the thing is, in the spiritual realm, you cannot experience those things. You cannot. It's impossible. You're infinite. You're in God mode. You can watch anything and create it and destroy it in an instant with a thought. So, we're playing a game. That's been evident to me for a very long time. I was trying to figure out more and more about, what are the rules of the game that we're here to play? And I think that's all I'm really trying to share, is what I'm seeing as the rules and the guidelines, and the only question I ask, why, just feels right. Makes sense. If I'm operating in constant God mode, I'm bored out of my proverbial spiritual noggin. So I'm going to try to be a little perspective of ourself and come into a physical realm. This is why I've said to people, have you never stopped to think that this entire game is all about you? Of course it is. You are all part of the all for one, one for all. You are all of consciousness and merely a part of it. And that's that separation thing that they talk about. It's the illusion of separation. It's all illusions. All the world's a stage. Are you a extra? Are you in the audience? Are you actively partaking Do you have a starring role? Do you have a supporting actress or actor role? Or are you finally, having played enough roles and characters and personalities in this game, where you can finally say, you know what, I think I'm going to direct my own movie for a change. And that to me is metaphorical. That's what Hollywood's all about. I mean, you look at someone like Clint Eastwood, runny-nosed actor when he first started out, low budget, and of course, then he ends up being one of the best directors out there. Why? Because he experienced the game from start to finish. That's why he is a great director, because he has the experience. So what we're doing with our experiences is learning how to be the directors. And are you ready for it yet? I'm not quite ready for being the director of any particular universe right now, and I'm okay with that. I'm just gathering up more information of experience. And I'm going to write the best movie ever written, right? So that's what it is to me. I don't know if that resonates with you guys or not. Just kind of makes sense. And Kevin, are you going to jump in here, or Mim, or Errol? Please, guys.
I just wanted to say you're really doing a great job of expressing this. I'm by no means, I don't even feel like, I'm to the level you are. I've experienced some things, but, I love the way that you're weaving this whole thing together with the movies, the music, the things that are appearing right in front of you, and the way that you're explaining the whole thing about the game and what you know of it, and just being so open and transparent with, what you're experiencing in your own life. And thank you. Again, I think you're doing a great job.
And thank you. I think you're doing a great job, too. It's all about purpose, and you can't have purpose without, how do I want to put this? Accomplishment requires purpose. And if there's something accomplished, if you feel something is accomplished with you, then the purpose is accomplished with me, and vice versa. Because there's things that you guys share with me, of course. I've said this every night. You share with me that give me a little, isn't that interesting? And how I look at it, because I need your perspectives as well. You see, because you're me, and I want to know more about me. Selfish bitch that I am. I want to hear from me. Ninja, you're in the call. About a half an hour before I'm going to roll out here, but if you want to get in, here you are. Ninja, how are you doing tonight, hon?
Hi, Kate. I'm good, thanks. How are you, dear?
Oh, good. Kind of in that zone today. I don't know. It's kind of neat, and I'm not really sure, actually, so I'm just kind of winging it right now.
You wing it really, really well, so it's been a good call. I haven't focused on all of it, because you know how it is, but I will listen tomorrow again. But I wanted to just comment on what Mim said, because it raised a few eyebrows, and I thought I'll just touch on it briefly for the fun of it.
Sure.
Mim, you were appreciative of Kate's song, and you said that it must have touched the hearts of everyone in America. Hello? This is internet radio?
The world.
Yes, but just like he was talking about putting, Summons of the Dead out there.
Oh, hang on, you're missing the point I'm trying to make. I'll be a little less cryptic, shall I? America.
I know where you're going.
There's a few eyebrows raised at that one, and I wanted to comment on it because it's quite funny, but it isn't funny at the same time. This is international, dear. We're all over the world listening, and all of our hearts are being touched. Not only the American ones.
Well, I forgot about that. I apologize. I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here in the States. That is funny. But let me just say the world. You've captured something
can I tell you
there
why? Can I share why?
Because my heart is for those hurting here, I guess.
I know. That's exactly why. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bust down the fact that you're American, that you're English, that you're Irish, that you're German and Dutch and French and Spanish and all of it. Australian. I don't care what you are. You're me. There are no borders. There is touching the heart of the universe.
And that's what I love. And thank you for bringing that up. And for, I've missed a lot of the shows. I'm just kind of hit or miss. And I know you guys probably touch on that frequently. And thank you so much for bringing that up, Ninja and Kate, for re-emphasizing that. I hope you do it again and again and again. And
you will.
I'm right with you.
I know you are.
My heart is that I understand and I agree. I am you and you are me.
Absolutely.
And what's really wonderful about this call is that it's helping to break down that fear,
the illusion of separation.
Yeah, it is. It's breaking down that illusion of separation, and I was thinking, I'm hoping that I can bring the words back that were in my mind of thinking of just, what people really want is that friend that they can really bring out the parts of them that they are having a hard time, and this includes myself, having a hard time seeing those things in themselves, that they need help with. And that's what you're doing for people. It's like because you are doing that, it is helping people to give themselves permission to either look or they feel that through you, even though they may never open up and talk or whatever, you are being that friend, that lover of their soul, to allow them, through hearing you speak, your experiences, to be able to deal with the tail, or the tricky little bastard, or however you want to say it. But it's
tricky little bastard.
People are free. Yeah, the fear, the things that people fear in themselves, and they feel like other people can or other people know what to do, but I don't. I mean, people must listen to you, as I have at times, and it's like, well, how does he know that? And I know people have thought that about me at times when I've had things that I've shared. But it is when you have that synchronicity of oneness in the spirit, and you just know what to say. I know that's how it is for you. I know that, that's how it works for me when it works. But, or Ninja, or Sylvia, or Stephen, or Jeremiah, or Mary, or any of the ones that I've heard on here. But I just want to thank you, because it is such a unique gift and such a unique privilege to be able to be a part of this show and have that kind of interaction going on.
Oh, for sure.
You do a beautiful job of balancing things back and forth.
Well, here's a question for all the Americans. I'm going to show you something allegorically. This is for everyone in the world, by the way. How much do you enjoy going through customs? I didn't think so. Right. Now, what is the United States of America? It's commonly referred to as the U.S., or as I like to look at it allegorically, it's the us. You see, and that us has been so separated through the American nightmare, dream, whatever you want to call it, in the rah-rah Americaca mentality. The U.S., the us, got hit the hardest of all for a very specific reason. It was an attempt to destroy us by separating us from everyone and everything else. That's why you have the allegory of the military, United States military, the us military, going out and killing the rest of us. You see. So, for me, it's very simple. If you want to see a divide and conquer, all you need to look at is Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Taoism. I don't give a fuck what it is. Let's go to color now. Let's go to black, white, red, yellow, orange, pink, green. I don't give a shit. Okay, so let's lose that. Let's lose the fact that we have different tongue pledges, which are actually all bastardized from Angelish, the Angelish we're speaking now. We finally returned to the language we spoke in Babylon before we were destroyed. Right? So this is about taking all of these little things called lines on maps, denominations, monetarily of course, of religion, and having a look at it from a complete picture. So it's time for the us to be with the rest of us. That was the allegory of the division. Of, you know, you look at America. I mean, I came in here in Ireland, and I remember, you know, coming over here, and it was this big experience, and it was the, you know, whether it's Canada or U.S., North America, it's that same dream, right? That whole, you know, the promised land mentality that was being sold. Of course, Canada being sold as the peacekeepers of the world, and there's, quite frankly, this is the last bastion of pure fucking hell. Right, in the illusion of peace, right? Yeah. So, well, there's Canaan, right? Canaan, duh, right? So, if you can see the allegory, and this is where we take the tricky little bastard out of, you know, pride, patriotism. I'm, you know, hand across my chest for the flag, and I pledge allegiance to the fucking cloth that's hanging up there that's causing the death of millions of people around the world. Please, that's the program. So, what I'm trying to do now is pull that allegory off. Pull the layers off so you can see it. To see how divided and conquered we have been. And it's only when the us gets together with the rest of the us and lose all the borders. For me, I see it very clearly. Of course, and the U.S., as far as, you know, the whole wealth and the American dream program got rammed down your throats. It's, you know, you got to have the bigger car, the bigger house, and all the rest of it. Selling everyone and everything on this continent with this whole wealth. And now let's look at the allegory of the left and right brain. You got the East and the West. The East is the right, which is the higher divine feminine, and the West is the tricky little bastard, Cain. Not Abel is on the right, right? So if you are Abel, you don't need to walk with a cane, yeah? It's all there. It's all in the phonics too, and that's the West. And there's the allegory again in Wizard of Oz, right? They had to kill the right, the Witch of the East, with a tornado and dropping a house on her, the American dream, right? And then, of course, the West trying to control and manipulate and everything else, and of course, truth made it through, and that's what we're seeing in a world-scale allegory. And for those that are still stuck at looking at chemtrails and all the rest of that bullshit nonsense, you're missing the allegory. You're missing what's being said there. I go back to the Bible again. The wife must be subservient to the husband. Is not saying that women are second-rate individuals. What it's saying is the emotions must be subservient to the mind, and that's the mind of the heart. And they're both one and the same, equal and opposite at all points. And I'm going to keep doing my best to bring this across, where I can start to get better at explaining it. They're not easy concepts to explain. I find the loss of words most of the time, but I'm doing my best. And the resonance that I get back from you guys, Mim, Ninja, everybody, Carol, Jeremiah, oh my God, the list goes on and on and on. Everybody has had the ability to be a part of me. I am the net sum total of my experience of you, my mirror. I'm not going to know how to interact until I'm interacting. And then I have to adjust my tack accordingly. Am I going to keep sailing into storms all the time? And that's what people are doing when they go on sports. That's what they're doing when they're chasing the almighty slave skin called money. Looking outside of themselves for a savior program, like Opt and the rest of that crap that goes along with it. Can you see the allegory yet? And the only time that we're going to take anything personal is because there's nothing. Well, here's an example. You take a devout born-again Christian that's like rah in the aisles and all the rest of it. What's that? Okay, that are in the aisles, and then all of a sudden they wake up to the fact that maybe everything they ever thought and learned, and then they get the visuals of how ridiculous they were, standing and blah blah blah, blah and tongues and all the rest of the shit that comes along with it in the program. Okay, so that's a big pill to swallow. There's your real red pill. Okay, but you got to take both the pills. People keep on this duality of did you take the blue or the red? You had to take both in order to know what one the other is. You can't have one without the other, right? It was a commercial. They told you in a commercial, for Christ's sake. it's just so blatantly obvious, and I'm just doing my best. And when I see the tricky little bastard, I still have my own reservations of I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but that's not my intent. Of course, that's my intent because I just said it. So I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But I know that when I'm going after the TLB, I want to see you. I want to see the most glorious entity in this universe because you're me, without all the meat attached to it. It's like I said last night, for me, my heart is home. I brought it home. It wasn't wanted. And that's okay. And the universe, I've opened up and whatever. I'll tell you this right now, though. If anyone ever does come back into my life, whether they do or not, it's irrelevant to me, but if they do, I will know. It won't be because of what I can give them, what I can do for them, what I look like. It will be because of me. Without all the layers, can you see me? And that's why I can say to you, without any reservation, every being I can come into contact with, regardless of whether they had their boot on my throat or not, I can look at them square in the eyes and square in the heart and say, I love you. And it's probably the first time any individual, when I say it to them, has had it said to them from the most unconditional place I can find. And I'm still looking for an even deeper unconditional. That's the shovel. That's going deep. So there you go. Kevin, jump in. Are you there, Kevin? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, hon.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, that's been, all I can say is when I hear you talk like this, and as I've seen this thing that's been transforming, I've only been listening maybe 8 weeks or something like that, off and on, maybe 12, but I have seen a huge transformation in the way that you are talking about things and expressing your heart, and that really summed it up, what you said just now. And when you are in that way of thinking, when a person is in that way of thinking, that is where the transformation, that is where the transmutation of all of that pain and that sorrow and that anger and that shame and that blame and that guilt, that's where it becomes a still point. It becomes, the charge becomes flattened, and it becomes a peaceful, serene, placid, beautiful, still waters.
Exactly. And I'm going to have to wrap up because Johnny's trying to get a hold of me here, but I want to bring one word here. When something comes at you, what do we have to do with it? And we have to transmute it. What does transmute mean? It means to change, yes. So let's look at it. Trans, across. Mute, unspoken. Silent. So we have to cross silent to transmute it. That's where this 0 point is. When you find that 0 point in the center, you're golden. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to roll off here, guys. Like I said, Johnny's tagging me here, and you can catch me in about a little over 20 minutes on QLP television. Just want to do my shout out. Thank you for criticalmassradio.co.uk, Paul, Lisa, and the crew. You guys, look what you did. You changed the world. Look what you did. My gratitude, my humility, my appreciation, and my fire. I get to share. It's beautiful with you guys. It's incredible. So, there you go. So, any final comments from you guys before I roll off here? And just a reminder, we have Tobias Lars on tomorrow night. It's going to be a hell of a show again. And when do you see this truth sparring? It's going to be awesome. It's going to be. Well, here's another one. Truth all night. Watch. So, any final comments, please? Jump them in now.
Yeah, I have one.
Yep.
Yeah, Kate, listening to you closing off there, and I would just want to say that, the listeners, the family that come here night after night, even those that haven't been here yet, even the ones that are coming here and haven't figured it all out yet, they love you unconditionally. Some of us know we do already, but I believe that.
I do too.
So So keep doing what you're doing, sweetheart. We do love you. And go and fix your makeup. And get on with Johnny.
Why are you inside my head, Ninja? Oh,
I love you.
I gotta make sure my hair is right. Going on TV.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, thank you, Ninja. And that's the mirror of the unconditional. And, you know, what you put out, you get back. So that's why I put out unconditional. It's pretty cool. Works for me. Now, I don't know if Kevin is still in the call here. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, Kevin, if you got any comments, jump in now, my friend. Oh, let's get it out. Cut off. No. Tried calling me again. No, you just gotta. You're in the call. I gotta talk to you tomorrow and get them sorted out. Anyway, Mim, Carol, any final comments from you guys or anybody?
Yes, much love and appreciation to one and all.
Love you.
Be safe, be happy and content, because we have so much to be thankful for, and what a beautiful time this is to spend with all of you.
Yep, absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Mom. It's time for the us to get together with us, yeah? And that works on both sides of that same coin, and we're doing it. And we've had enough. It's time to change the script here. New movie
time
coming
to
up.
Celebrate.
You got it. Isn't that funny, eh? Celibate and celebrate. Oh, I'll break that one down tomorrow for you. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, Carol, any final comments, hon?
Nope, sweetheart. Beautiful call. Love you so much, and thank you for the inspiration that you've given me.
And vice versa. Mirror, mirror.
Love you, dear one.
Love you too. How do you like you now? Cool, huh?
I'm getting better. Forgiving oneself for many things is the very hardest lesson I think any of us have to do, other than learning to ask for help. And a lot of things. This situation of being human is quite a job, isn't it?
That's an experience, and here's the magic of forgiving oneself. I forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Isn't that cool? I'll leave that one to ponder. Much love, guys, and I'm going to try to work some magic on the show with Johnny tonight. And yes, I have to go fix my hair. It's raining out here. Anyway, love you guys, and you know what? I've got about maybe 3 minutes, so I'm gonna finish off with a song here. And how fitting is this? Let me just get this rolled up. Much love to everybody. We'll catch you guys in about 20 minutes on QLP Multimedia. The links are out there. There goes the rabbit. Oh yeah, it always shows up exactly when I want him to. Isn't that cool? So here we go.
You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now it's our turn.
But it won't be long till I get home. I hope she'll still be there.
Good night. Thanks for tuning in to Outside the Box. This is Kate of Gaia signing off. I love you. Enough said.